Perfect. Welcome, ladies and gents. It's Ivan and Alex here. I-words and upwards. Today we're doing pre-Derby post-Norwich stream. Um, Jesse is apologizing. Ruby Slippers is apologizing again. She's just a little bit preoccupied with some very important things, but me and her have achieved something really, really cool for our friends back in Ukraine. So the last couple of days we've been working really hard to get a couple of things over the line, and we're really really happy now. Something really good is
Nice.
going to happen for some people in Ukraine, and uh, super happy about that. So hopefully we'll see her online sooner rather than later. But thanks, Alex, for joining us again. As we have discussed, it becomes a regular thing now, which is great. And take it away. What do we have?
Well, I just want to chime in just on the back of what you're saying. For Jesse, for Ruby Slippers, really can't wait to have you back on the show, working alongside you again, and and having a good old banter, good old chinwag.
Yep.
But of course, I'm more than happy to give you my 10 cents, which ends up into about $250 by the end of the show, as they say.
If
Yeah,
I had a nickel.
yeah. If I had a nickel. Yeah, yeah. I think we're just having a little brief discussion before that. Okay, it's going to be a bit of a breakdown on how things have been. But more so for just kind of a bit of a loose chat on things that have kind of progressed, things that might come to be, and to see how that kind of goes. So I
Yeah,
reckon,
yeah.
yeah,
I think it's fair. We're gonna keep it a bit more loose because I know a couple of guys last time had called it a college lecture on football, and I think that
yeah,
yeah, I kind of
yeah.
went overboard a little bit with the breakdown. I think, and we can keep it a bit more loose this time around.
Yeah, yeah, but so here's the thing on what I did like about it. Okay, yeah, like I get it for someone who's sitting listening to a breakdown on everything about football is like it's a lot of information to take in. Um,
Mm.
Also, like what I realized, like on a lot of other YouTube videos, a lot of podcasts, is like there's the use of visuals, video. There's somebody, especially the you good old whiteboard. Remember that guy? I
Yep.
have to bring out the whiteboard again. Um, I get it. Like when there's a lot of terminology said in a video when it's just audio as opposed to visual, it can
Mhm.
be quite tiring to keep up, especially if it's for an hour. It does feel like like you're back at uni and you're in front of a lecturer and you're kind of like, okay, right, that's that. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to keep track the whole way through. So I get what people are saying, and I also get the need for a bit more loose chat in between. But I really do like the fact that there is some kind of analysis in breaking down championship games. So that's what I really enjoy. Is actually it's a bit of education at the same time. It's doing what not many other people do, and they struggle to do it because they don't understand to do it. So I think that's a point that we were kind of touching on last week was that people just generally will waffle, good news, bad news, he scored, she scored, and then there's a lot of buzzwords, as you say, and then that's about it. That's about as far as you go. um, it's not really showing any kind of football intelligence in the sense of really kind of delving deep into what's going on the field. Because if you really want to know where things are going good and bad, like you actually need to pay attention to the details. Like they always say, the
The
proof is in
devil
the
is in the
pudding, right?
details. Yeah.
Devil is in the
Yeah.
details.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Well,
yeah,
you're absolutely right, and
there's a
look,
balance. A
I
balance is
appreciate it.
needed. Hmm.
Yeah.
But I enjoy
Yeah. No.
I enjoy the educational, like learning about it
Yeah.
as well. Like it's not easy because there's so much. Like you said, football is such an art form. There's so much to learn, and not many people spend that much time trying to learn it because it's more
Yeah.
fun to just watch football to follow it, right? And I don't blame people for doing that, but it comes to a point where if you really want to know where things are going bad or where a team is struggling, like you actually need to take the time to know
Mm.
what that is. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And look, and I'm not having a dig at Will, who mentioned that it was he actually said that he really enjoyed the college lecture, but it made me think that, but he's a very inquisitive, very smart guy who is actually eager for that kind of information. But a lot of the people
Yeah.
are not. And not that they're not smart, they just want something a bit more relaxing. But for those of you guys who want a lighter conversation, you're in luck because there is not too much to talk about with regards to the last game against Norwich because there was only one team who wanted to play a game of football on the night. That was Wrexham. Norwich, I think from about 10 minutes in, I was looking at the screen and I was thinking, they don't want to be there. They literally don't want to
Mm,
be on the pitch. It was down to very basic things like they were, instead of chasing chasing an opponent after they have lost a battle. They were some of the guys were just walking. They were literally just walking around,
mm,
and I thought to myself, "There's something going on with the team. They obviously don't want to play. Uh, they had that attitude when you would literally sub the entire team and bring on your youth squad because they just didn't want to. They didn't want to be there. They didn't want to be on the pitch. So, and I was really gobsmacked by the fact. To be honest, I don't remember the last time I have seen something like that. And the end result of the game was not surprising to me at all. Actually, I was
mm.
surprised that Norwich scored at all.
Yep.
And I think the only player who actually wanted to play was Norwich's goalkeeper, who made a bunch of amazing saves, and but
Yep.
the rest of the team were just not there.
Flat.
Like there
Really
is
flat. Yeah.
not just flat. They literally didn't want to play. Like I looked at them as like, why did you even take to the pitch? And I thought about maybe there is an internal conflict going on within the team. And then after the game, the first thing that I did, I listened to some podcasts of the Norwich side, and yeah, looks like I was right. There is a bit of a turmoil going on inside the team, and they looked like they met each other the first time in the changing room, and they did not like one another. So like yeah, I don't know. Would you agree with that assessment? Have you noticed something like that, or am I just completely out of my mind?
No, absolutely not. You got it. You got it right. It, the biggest thing that really backs up your point there is what I was saying before about the comments that I was reading on the post game. Sorry, on the reviews of the game. There's mostly a BBC Sport, YouTube. So by all means, it comes from the fans. Not reading too much into bias. What do you call it? Yeah, stories on from the punters. But what I saw was a lot of a lot of similar comments to say that they're just not happy the way they've been playing season. A lot saying same as last season. Yeah, say too many crosses coming in. Just yeah, the care is not there, and yeah, it was actually quite sad, really.
It was very sad.
Because
Yeah.
yeah, and I get it. When like sing when you're winning, as we always say. But like I think it's very apparent to see when a team is just not where it should be, and there can be an array of reasons for that. Whether it's management, which is usually a big issue, which is not, they're not pumping up the team. It can just be rifts within the personalities of the players. It could just be that they're not gelling right. So many different
You
reasons. Maybe,
you you,
yeah,
you owe me $5 now every time you say the G word.
gel. Yeah.
10.
Could be a rich man at the end of this.
Nah, I'm just kidding. Look, I thought like the only time I vaguely remember a team playing like that was a long time ago when I was watching. It was like back in beginning of 2000s. There was a team in Europe that played, and the entire team was just trying to get the coach sacked. So
Really? Mm,
they literally just legitimately just walked around the pitch a lot like what Norwich did, and I yeah there was no I don't even know what to say. There was literally nothing happening from their side. And as far as Wrexham comes, a lot of that talk about Parkinson changing things, nothing was changed at all. He just played new players, the ones that he bought. And
yeah,
just like I said before, people always confuse execution and new players with better execution for tactical improvements. Again, even those guys from Norwich side in the podcasts, they gave full credit to Wrexham for winning, but everybody
yep,
said that Wrexham was very basic. They were lumping the ball up, up high to the point guy. They were
yep,
pushing up the wings for cross, so it was crosses, it was long balls to the center. Windass, just like we mean you were talking about after the very first game of the season, is obviously by far the best player on the team. Um, he's got an amazing shot on him, both feet that guy has, and his ability to create something out of nothing is absolutely amazing.
mm. No, I have to agree. He's too good for the team, and it's really saying something because it's not like here she is. It's not like there's bad players on that team. Like
No,
there is some amazing talent on that team. I think he is so good because he's the Lionel Messi in the way that he just knows where to be. He's a playmaker. He can almost play that false nine. He's not relying on people sitting too deep. He's not relying on people being out of position. He just kind of knows where to be. So he just makes things happen.
yeah,
And
I
he's a
think
workhorse. The last time we obviously saw the biggest workhorse was Mullen, but Mullen didn't have that same ability as Windass has, being able to just create something out of nothing. And it's such a unique talent in a football player, which very few have that. But
yeah,
it's very
absolutely.
refreshing to see. Very refreshing to see.
I guess to me the best thing about the guy is the ability to make quick decisions under pressure. So
Yep,
that's obviously that comes from a lot of drilling, a lot of work on your personal skills, great touch. So he knows exactly where the ball is going to go after he takes that first control touch.
yep,
He I don't think he really relies on the teammates so much. Like
no,
he's the kind of guy who can see that sort of a step ahead and like Gretzky,
yep,
go where the puck will be, not where the puck is. So
yep,
obviously a very good instincts, which again were developed over. He comes from a very good school as well, so there's no surprises there. The only thing that I kind of disagree with is why would you make that kind of a character a captain? I don't understand
mm.
because there is a
Yeah.
lot
That's one
of
thing we touched on. Yeah,
yeah yeah
the attitude, the attitude that he's got.
yeah. He's quite a big controversial personality, which in my eyes it's a dubious decision to make somebody like that a captain.
I have to agree. I haven't seen too much what like about his about that attitude, but I have read a couple of articles which would make me definitely agree. I don't understand why he's become captain so quickly. Um,
Well,
there's
once
people
Mecca
on the
has
team.
it, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, there's
Mecca
people on the
is
team that should definitely hold that beforehand.
yeah, yeah. I mean, Mecca is not playing anymore, so I think for whatever reason, Parkinson just decided to give it to him, and I yeah, I don't know if you need characters like that on the team quite often. Somebody who is
Yep.
a bit controversial. Let's put it this way. But a captain, I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know.
Yeah, and it actually kind of goes back to what we were saying quite a while ago about the personality of Wrexham. Like even from the National League, one thing which really made people fall in love with the team was like all the good personalities. Was the way that the team was just like they just kind of looked like they were having fun,
Yeah,
and you know. Uh, it just seems like, I get it that the League One and the Championship's a far more serious place to be, but like, it felt like, initially back in the day, we thought that Parky was bringing in people because they had that great personality, because, he wouldn't have people on the team otherwise. But now it just seems like that doesn't matter anymore. You remember we were saying like, what was his name? Longstaff coming from Notts County would have been a bad, like it would have been good for the team, I think, but
yeah,
like because like we said he was a bit of a guy.
yeah. Well,
So
like we
like
don't know, we don't know him personally, but there were rumors, and to be honest, like his demeanor, you look at him and like yeah, you kind of
hmm,
you get the general gist. But yeah, same with Windass.
yeah,
It doesn't take a genius to look at the guy and say like yeah, he's the kind of he's the peacock kind of a thing.
yeah,
So what's gonna happen from now on with the captaincy and what is going to lead to will be interesting to observe.
yeah. I think so.
So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and you know what? Like, as long as like he puts his money where his mouth is, like that's kind of where I want to see. That's what I want to see. I think some of the other boys will make him toe the line a little bit. I don't think that the likes of Longman and the big guy, what's his name? I always forget. Kiefer
Kiefer.
Moore would. Yeah, I don't think they're going to allow him to steal the show too much. I think that there is, there's some other big personalities on the pitch where they're just not going to let him, take over. Um, so I'm hoping, like it does. Hopefully, it balances out.
I
Pretty good.
I hope so. I hope so too because I think that like I suspect a lot of the Wrexham supporters right now are sort of singing praises and going a bit ballistic about how everything is just amazing and everybody is good to go. But I'm really interested to see what's going to happen the next game because playing against Derby County, the Rams at home. It's the kind of game that you need to win. Like for a team like Wrexham, who's trying to survive in the league, there are only sort of a handful of games that you need to win, and this is one of them games where you look at the placing of the team on the table right now, and you would expect them
Yep.
to win. You need to win this kind of games. But then again,
Yep.
everybody was saying the same thing after the Millwall win. So
Mm.
interesting to see once the team plays against somebody who actually wants to be on the pitch.
Yeah, yeah. It's weird because like maybe just a little bit of analysis on that past game against Norwich because just looking again we can I'm in about possession, but it was
Hmm.
like it was a very strong in favor for Norwich. I think it was 64-36. If I got
Yeah,
that right.
yeah, like
Sorry.
60-40. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, yeah,
60-40, say. That's
yeah,
that's not to say that Norwich weren't trying at all. It's just they could have done so much better. We saw Sargent up front. He was making the defense look weak. I know it's not that hard because he said it's a lot of Wrexham sitting too deep. It's a lot of balls getting overturned too easy. Um, but yeah, as you said, it was that lack of enthusiasm. Still got them two
yeah,
goals. Still got them two goals. So like, it's not like they were completely down and out like Sheffield United look right now. Um,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it's it, it's a tough one. But I think I think actually, if Wrexham didn't have that strong start, to the second half, which is a common trait that they do. Whether it is say when Parky has he's them riled up and then they come out, but they scored three
Mm,
goals in 12 minutes. So
yeah.
whatever happened in that moment, like that's what won them the game there. Great. Um, the issue then is even if Norwich are looking flat at that point, that's where like Wrexham should have been like building on the game to just keep possession, but no, that they start to taper off themselves towards the end, and then that's when Norwich got that last goal in stoppage time.
The It's the same thing with the way Wrexham plays, is that going up, progressing through the zones, moving from third to third, the way the ball, the way the players, the structure of the players, the positioning of the players is not set for turnovers. So
Mm,
the rest defense is not set. There is no tactical pattern, or let's say dependable and adjustable tactical pattern that will prevent uh, easy early turnover access into Wrexham's third, and that's what effectively any team that can press relatively high and cause a turnover will capitalize on,
yeah,
is the inability of Wrexham to progress through the third in an organized manner, and that's why time and time again we can see it from all the defenders, is that after a couple of um, square passes, a couple of passes back, if that ever happens, we always see a big long hoof forward, is
yeah,
because the team is not setting up, is not reacting to clues, and is not reacting to the ball positioning, and then the defense just gives up playing what they see and sends it long. And the fact that Norwich was they just didn't care about, like, what I'm talking about is that when you're playing against long ball team like Wrexham and a high flank using team like Wrexham, is that you have to shut down the half spaces, and you have to challenge for the second ball. And if you lose that first battle, you need to counter press within the next 5 to 6 seconds. You need to preferably win the ball. B, at least don't let the opposition player turn with the ball. Keep them facing the
mm,
wrong way. And I didn't see
yeah.
that happening from Norwich a single time. They just, when they lose the ball, they were literally people walking away, like not running,
Mm.
not like they were walking. And I was looking at it as like, what is going on? It's not a normal thing.
Yeah, it seems like the new age of football. It's not apparent with all these teams in the championship, and we see that, like as you saying, like with that high press is like it's the speed. So who did we see that with? We saw that with QPR. Uh, they were just like they showed exactly how it should be done. It makes the defense struggle. They can't even play. They can. It doesn't matter which channel they go. They can't shift the ball. They can't shift the momentum. They have to hoof it. Um,
Yeah.
it's like they make the defense panic. Um, what I realized that Wrexham's biggest challenge is their CDMs. Their number six as well. Just no one's talking at the back. It just looks so disorganized back there.
It looks
So
it, it
because
looks
yeah,
very it looks very reactionary. Like, there is obviously, again, there is no drilled setup patterns. So every time every time the CDMs, every time the person in the immediate zones above the penalty box receives the ball, they always a second behind, because they don't have any automatic options. They have
mm,
to assess the situation manually every time. So there is I don't see anything that will suggest a automation. I don't see them closing their eyes and knowing where the other guys are. There is none of that.
also moving to the midfield now. For we always say like, oh, there's no point, Wrexham using midfield, but like, their wingers, they're never in position to receive that ball. They're just always in
No.
the abyss. Most of the time, if like you say, if the opposition's going for the high press and they're gonna need to try and play it out of there, they're gonna try and tactically build from the back, then those wingers they're gonna need to play their part. Now I know that McLean got a lot of stick for it, but there's also another side to the field, which it does go to show that they are struggling pretty bad.
Yep.
So yeah, I can kind of see why the hoofball is a very apparent motive for Wrexham, just because they just don't. It's just that disjointed. They don't practice it. They don't understand it, and well, there's only one person that should be telling them how to do it. So, but
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
won't
Yeah.
won't keep saying negative things because.
Well,
Anyway, go on. Sorry.
yeah, and that's like going back to what good Norwich podcasters were saying, and I actually really like the way they described their own game, their own team, and they just like they were saying before, Wrexham they just stuck to basics.
Yep.
It was that load up the front guy and run up the flanks to do a cross. So cross, hoof, cross, hoof, cross, hoof. Nothing, absolutely. Well, apart from Windus's good shot, there is nothing coming through 11, zone 11. There is nothing coming through 14. There is actually very little happening in zone 8 as well. So this is all through center circle up to just in front of the opposition box. If you look at the heat maps, those zones are pretty much untouched. And
Yep.
the thing is that it's like I always say, it's okay to play long ball, but the long ball needs to be preset. It needs to be designed. So you need to set a certain trap timing. You need to know where that long ball is going to go, on what clue, what is the trigger. The From what I'm seeing right now is, yes, we have now faster, better players who are executing certain elements of the game better, but I'm not even talking about operationally. I'm talking about just tactically. Absolutely nothing changes. Absolutely zero changes. And it's a
Yeah.
copy paste, carbon copy, game after game, game after game. If the opposition wants to sit a bit deeper, Wrexham will have a little bit more ball, but they will only have the ball where the team will allow them to. Yeah, so it's yeah.
It was kind of funny, actually. Just we're talking about hoofball. One of the other points I wanted to touch on. So, just reading in the news that Ollie Rathbone's going to make an appearance potentially, maybe starting off the bench. So he's training, so he looks like he's pretty much back to fighting fit after his ankle injury.
Yep.
Look, great. One more midfielder. Again, like talented guy, a lot of talent sitting in the midfield. Is it used? No. What made me kind of chuckle was on an article I also read today was Parkinson claiming that he has a wealth of talent in the midfield. But why say things like that if you don't play in midfield?
I don't understand either. I
Yeah.
I
There's great
don't.
guys. There's great guys in the midfield. I don't understand why he's not using them. Like Wrexham could actually dominate the league with the midfield they have.
If not dominant and be in sort of the quality of the
Yeah,
midfield right now would be
yeah,
close to playoffs, but for that you need to change
yeah.
the overall approach to the game and start drilling some patterns in order to progress through the zones. Using the
Far too
midfielder
disjointed. Yeah,
far too disjointed and using the midfield just to press and to try to cause a turnover. Uh, that is very ineffective use of such a high caliber players.
yeah. So let's talk about this formation that seems to always pop up for a Wrexham game, the 3-5-1-1. Um,
Mm-hmm.
So that that is suggesting that it is going to be like a strong midfield play game. With the two kind of up front playing the way they do is going to be quite tactical in the opposition's defense zone. And then, of
Hmm.
course, having the kind of probably the rush defense as well, the two probably dropping back as they do in the middle to help out the CDMs. Now, it doesn't really seem to me like they're trying to push up the field with that kind of formation because it's not designed. It's all wrong. I'm trying to get my head around it, and I just can't seem
Um,
to figure out why. Yeah,
effectively,
shed some light on this.
effectively, what happens with 3-5-2, because it is 1-3-5-1-1, 3-5-2, 3-1-4-1-1, three
Hmm.
two three one one. It's all variation of the same formation. Behind a formation needs to be a system. The
Yep.
lack of the systematic approach to the play is manifested in the simple fact that all Parkinson wants to do is that when the long ball played up high, and the second ball is won, one of the wingers, the wing backs, pushes up, effectively uh, requesting one of the midfielders to slide into his place to cover for him,
Yep.
or um, if the ball is played centrally really, really fast, all that happens is that the one of the attacking midfielders pushes up and they pretty much create a triangle in between usually in between the zones 11 and 14. Effectively, you have two cams and one CM sitting right below them, ready to receive the cross. So all all that happens is that instead of using that formation for the strength of the midfield and effectively turning it into it's a dynamic change of the formation into the 4-4-2,
Hmm.
depending on where the ball is, where the strong side is, because basically what happens is that on the strong side, um, the winger keeps the ball, and instead of having three at the back, the weak side winger drops back a little bit, and they create like
Hmm.
a pretty much like a slanted four, diagonal four at the back. So 3-5-2 transforms very easily to 4-4-2
Yep.
in attack. Um, but instead of doing that, and then you have a diamond in the middle, natural diamond, like the old school 4-4-2 with a diamond in the middle. With three
Yep.
five two, that appears almost naturally. But instead of doing that, all we do is that by playing the long ball up the flank or to the target man up front, we're forcing one of the wingers to commit all the way up, and that's how a lot of the times more experienced teams will exploit the space behind us, because when that winger, I don't know if you've seen my videos when I was talking about wingers, they fly, but they need to know
Yep.
their fly zone, their fly path. When the
Yep.
winger goes too far without the rest defense set behind them and the
Yep.
precautionary measures, insurance measures set behind them, he opens up the entire like 50 yards of space. And that's what
Yep.
QPR did really well. They let them have those balls on the wings, but they punished them with those young, fast guys who scorched them through those half spaces, because they are just they not covering they not covering those gaps. Do you know what I mean? So all they hope for is
Absolutely.
to push the ball up the wing, deliver across, and hope you score. But it's unless you play like Norwich, it's very hard to do.
Yep. So looking at Derby County, their favoured formation is 4-3-2-1. Um,
4-5, effectively four
so
five
sorry,
one. Yes.
sorry, 3-4-2-1. And they've got Clark Burrington and Morris sitting up front by himself. So yeah. Um,
Mhm.
so potentially going to be playing some stronger midfield attacking football, one could say. Um, you know, looking at their looking at the track record, what they've got so far. So they're 1 win, 2 draws, and 3 losses, right?
Yep.
They're sitting on a -4 goal difference,
Yep.
which so yeah, like they're letting a lot of goals go, which says to me a very weak defense, not a terrible attacking squad
Hmm. Hmm.
team.
Hmm.
Because like Wrexham and all their glory are still sitting on a -1 goal difference right now.
Hmm.
So yeah, I can't see it being a big scoring game this weekend.
Yep.
Wrexham are scoring goals. That's great. Like
Yep.
they've actually got some people that are looking pretty hot. Longman, Kiefer, Windass. There's some people. I know they're singing praises about Ollie Rathbone being a goal scorer. He scored 8 goals in League One. That's not really. I know he's a midfielder, but like, it's not really
He's gonna
someone that
find
you're going to be
himself
relying.
surrounded by, bro. He's gonna find himself surrounded by new players. When he goes back
Yeah,
on that pitch, there is nobody left that he played with apart from maybe a couple of guys. So
yeah,
knowing that he needs to find the new connections with the teammates, I would not expect much straight away. But he's a good player, so we'll see.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, do you think he'll gel?
So gel, just so gel. Yeah. Well,
Brilliant.
look. Yeah. Again, gelling, gelling, in the tactical void. Gelling
Yeah,
is not quite gelling. It's literally creating osmosis. So that takes quite a while. Hence, we can see that, like the guys said before, sticking to basics, because those are the ones that everybody knows. There is nothing
yeah,
more complex going on, just the good old basics. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it's just terrible to watch the fact that there's just so many good players on that pitch and they're just not playing the way they should.
Yeah, no, I
Um,
mean, look, Windass had a hell of a game, hell of a game.
mm,
Two
yeah,
goals, that amazing shot. Okay, let's say he has a bad game. What do we have? Like, that player has a bad game now. What another scrappy goal by Kiefer, who, by the way, did not look that great during that game. He did
no, he
not.
didn't.
All of a sudden did not have enough speed to carry the ball through. He was kind of a little bit awkward on the ball here and there. I think he's just probably being overplayed a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah,
It's
that's
every
standard
yeah,
occurrence. Yeah,
yeah, and we take away an exceptional game by Windass. Let's say he had an average game and he didn't score. What are the other
mm,
options? What do we have that? See, that's the thing. Over and over again, I say it. You should be winning games without a person who is, or one or two person who is all of a sudden on a very hot game. You should be
that's right.
winning should be a byproduct of systemic approach. When you don't
Yeah,
have it, you rely on moments of brilliance and individual performances. From Derby County, I don't expect anything. I don't expect any miracles. I think they will score. I Just like I said, Wrexham has to win that game.
yeah.
But um, I got a feeling. There is a 1-1 draw written all over it.
That's what I had on my prediction as well. Just looking at the way that the goal difference is sitting in the table, like they're a relegation team, so they're not going to be a strong threat, but they will play their cup final against Wrexham as people do because
Yep.
it's just one of those teams that you go out to beat. Wrexham, of course, having the goal scoring ability of at least one in the tank, depending on the way that they decide to play on the day.
Hmm.
Because you never know what you're going to get. You just really like you get your basics of what you're going to see. You'll get your hoofball, you'll get your sloppy
Flanks.
defense,
Yeah.
flanking. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like how many goals will come from it? because a lot of it comes from luck. And
Yeah,
when they always say,
absolutely.
and you'll hear a lot on Parky's post-game reviews when he's like, "The ball just didn't go our way today. The ball just didn't come our way today," or yeah. You'll see that all the time. But it's like there's a sense of truth in that. It's just like we weren't lucky enough today. That's literally what it translates to say. We were not lucky to get on those plays that should
Yep.
have never become because they were not tactically built.
Nope. Nope. I mean,
It's a
look, you
lot of yeah,
to their credit, the lack in tacticality and the lack in say multi-layered approach and plan B is hard work. And the people
yeah,
say that all the time. The hard-working team. I mean, O'Brien works extremely hard. The entire well, look, Dobson works super hard. It's just they are running a freaking marathon every game. They putting their bodies on
yep.
the line. uh, the wingers. But that in turn, time and time again, we see that in turn leads to injuries. That leads
It
to
does.
stress fractures. That
Yeah,
leads to ripped hammies. That it's people are working exceptionally hard when the problem with that is that the season is long and you should not be working as trivial as it sounds. You should not be working that hard if you're playing smart football.
that's right. And let's also touch on the fact that Wrexham are now through to the fourth round in the EFL Cup, who are drawing an all Welsh round of against Cardiff, which I know is going to get
Oh,
a lot of it's going to get a lot of people going for that one. But
yeah,
in the last round, they used a lot of their bench players, which is great, and that's the way that this cup should be all about. It's just like get your reserves to go for a run out. Even though we did see the likes of McLean, Lee, Barnett, Doyle,
the
so a lot of like
the most expensive signing
yeah,
of the season. Broadhead was there. It's
yeah, I
yeah,
saw that. Yeah, got
yeah,
a couple of goals, didn't he?
couple of goals. Yeah, yeah, played well.
Oh, was it one goal?
Making,
Yeah, him and Sam Smith. Anyway, so point being, now
no,
that
no,
we're
no.
getting
He
into the
scored
more
two.
serious rounds, it was Sam Smith and Broadhead got the two goals
They gave it to
against
Smith because I was pretty sure
yeah, which is
because
weird. E- Even in the what you call it in the breakdown of the game, they say that Broadhead got a couple of goals. So
yeah,
I
he got a
think
brace because the second goal was bar down. It was bar down
yeah,
and ball crossed the line, but that Smith just poked it in to be sure.
right, okay. So maybe yeah, I
Yeah,
think there's anyway.
yeah,
They can't yeah.
yeah. Sorry,
Um,
interrupted you.
no, 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 no. So point I was going to go back to saying like season's gonna get into crunch time. There's a game every 3 days. Wrexham's staying in cups, which means like they're gonna they are going to start to have some injuries. There's going to be, as you said, stress fractures and all that kind of coming up because they're not going to start playing the reserve players when they start going against the bigger teams. So as soon as they go up against the Premier League team, they're not going to be putting their
They
broadheads
will
out
play
there. Like
the
then
A team again. Yeah.
a team comes out. Yeah,
Yep. Yeah. I know, man.
yeah,
I know. It's
mm,
I
yeah. So dangerous
it is
game. It's a yeah,
it is always surprising to see the starters even going in for a sub. I don't understand why the EFL Cup should attract anybody from your main team, especially when your sole goal this year is to do as best as you can and stay up. So
it's
you should be
survival for Wrexham. It's
yeah,
survival
it is. You should be treasuring
wherever they
every
end up.
single one of those players. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like, and because they're not doing anywhere near what the other teams are doing,
Hmm.
um, in the sense that, sitting mid-table looks okay because it's mid-table, but it's like 3 points in it before it's so tight.
It is. It is
And
tight. And
Wrexham will be back in. Yeah.
just like we were saying, we Wrexham were Windows had a hell of a game. Everybody was working super hard. Norwich played like they were not even there. They played not. I can't even describe it as shit. They honestly played like they did not care at all, and they still
Yeah,
scored 2 goals.
yeah,
What happens if they actually play like they want to be there?
yeah. Well, then they become well. Norwich. I think they're drawn with Burnley for the best elevator team, uh,
Yeah,
going from Premier League to Championship, which means they know how to get promoted. They've done it a bunch of times. They are not a bad side, so
yeah.
it
There's
does
just
go
some
to
kind of a
show that there is something not right with what was going on. And you saw that. We read about it, and it's disappointing to see that lack of enthusiasm. Well, I mean, you can see with the likes of Sheffield United when you know that the manager's on his way out, that nothing's working. It's just completely broken, and 6 games in, they don't have a single point. Like
yeah.
that's pretty tough. You know,
Can you imagine if
yeah,
the relegation is going to be 2 Sheffield teams?
yeah, it's gonna
That is
suck.
going to be brutal. But I don't.
Yeah.
I think Sheffield United will find their stride. Yeah.
I think so. I mean, well, like from when I was in university, I went to Leeds, so of course
Mhm.
Sheffield were bitter rivals, so
Yeah.
I don't care too much if they if they
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
beat up. But at least one of the Sheffield teams staying up, and it's just sad to see a team get relegated and then potentially going to get relegated again. Like it's just not good because until someone comes along and saves the day, um, it's yeah.
It's
Yeah,
a
I don't know.
it's a
Yeah,
slippery elevator. Yeah, it's one of
yeah.
those.
But look,
Yeah.
looking after I'll just kind of bring up the schedule after Derby County. So yeah, what's it going to look like? We've got Leicester away, which is going to be a hell of a tough game to win.
Hmm.
I don't see a win coming there. I think we're going to see a very dominant Leicester side.
Hmm.
Yep. And then straight after having Birmingham, Stoke, and Oxford and Middlesbrough. Um,
Well,
that's the
Oxford
gauntlet.
probably the only doable. Yeah.
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 But yeah, Birmingham, Stoke, and Middlesbrough. Well, Middlesbrough haven't what do you call it, dropped a point, have they? I think they're sitting top of the table right now. So
I think they haven't lost. They haven't lost a game. I don't remember if they. I think they
oh,
dropped a point. Let me just.
maybe they're drawn one. Drawn one
Yeah,
and
they
won the
haven't
rest of the
lost a
games, maybe.
game. Yeah. Yeah. Let me just double check the table.
Hmm.
Yes. Yeah. One draw. One draw. One draw.
So yeah, it's
Yeah.
going to be
Yeah.
really tough, and there's only 2 points in it between Derby County in the relegation zone and where Wrexham are sitting now. So it's not that Wrexham are sitting safe right now.
No, of course not. It's yeah, just like I said, 10 games is usually your telltale, and you're if say if Derby wins um, against Wrexham the next game, they can pretty much they can almost swap places if everything else goes against Wrexham. So it's
Yeah, it's a must win.
the yeah, the table is very volatile. It is a mon. If they don't win against Derby, oh, man, that's nasty. That is
Yep.
nasty.
Yeah. Championship is the most brutal league, and yep, we're about to
Yes,
see some real shit's about to get real.
anybody can beat anybody on a given day. Yeah,
Yep.
and I hope that we will not see more performances like Norwich exhibited the last game. For the sake of the
Mm.
game, I just don't want to see that anymore. It's yeah, it was not good to watch just when the team just doesn't want to be there.
But the thing is, even if it is a team that doesn't want to be there, you would think not to be so close to it being a draw and being out the possession out sorry, yeah, outpossessed and also outshot. I know they had more shots on goal, but they're still shooting, they're still passing,
Yeah, yeah.
and they're
Well,
still
they
sitting
were.
higher than Wrexham in the table.
Yep. they were going through the numbers but even that, like you can tell that the system that the manager is trying to implement there is a good one. It's just for whatever reason the players are either in conflict with the manager or they are clustered amongst themselves and they just do not care about one another.
Yeah, which is what we see too often.
Yep. Yep.
Mm.
Absolutely. So you going with 1-1 prediction against Derby?
1-1. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's
but I
your
can't see. Go.
who do you think is going to score first?
I think I can see it either being Moore or Windes getting a goal,
Okay. Okay.
depending on who
I
he's got in
also
the lineup. Yeah.
I also think that Wrexham is going to score first, and then I expect them to take the foot off the gas and concede one.
Yeah, the worst thing that will happen in that game is that if Wrexham score early, because then they'll park the bus.
Yep, yep, and that's what I kind of half expected after Wrexham went 2-1 up against Norwich, but
Yeah,
uh, I was like that was last chance for Norwich to ignite a little bit and to go up front, but they just didn't care. Like, to be honest, they didn't care. Like,
yeah.
from the starting whistle, they did not care. Like, and that was, yeah, I kind of repeating myself here. Yeah, but yeah, okay.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. No, but you're definitely going to have that game-winning attitude every single time, and yeah, yeah. It's
Absolutely.
just kiss yourself goodbye if you're not going out there to try and win all of your games.
And just win every single battle. Well, win
Yeah,
those small battles. Just those little things, they do count. They do add up, especially against a sort of basic playing team like Wrexham. That's where
yeah,
you have to, if you want to just like we were talking about after the game with Millwall. Millwall showed that if you're gonna go, it's like when boxing. If you the best thing you can do when you're fighting a brawler is to box. You got to box the brawler.
yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Nice.
All right, buddy. I think we kind of covered it all. Yeah, covered all the
I
points.
think so. I think so. Until the next time.
Yeah. Yes, my friend. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having
Good.
me on again. Always a pleasure. Really thinking that yeah, we get that whiteboard a bit of a workout at some point, and maybe do some pretty good tutorial videos. Thinking um, maybe a little bit of a small breakdown analysis on where some of the better teams, what they're doing, what's working for those guys. I'd like to see what Middlesbrough and Stoke are doing a bit differently to what, like, your Derbys and your Sheffields are doing. Let's see kind of where it went wrong for Sheffield. Let's see where it's going right for Middlesbrough. Um,
Yeah.
I think that maybe give people a bit more kind of analysis to really what the championship's all about, and also make it very tutorial and interesting to see. So yeah, maybe start integrating that into what we're doing. I don't think that's
Yeah. It's not a bad
yeah.
idea at all. I think we should do that.
Mm,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
nice.
Yeah, yeah. But in any case, very nice to see you here again, and we'll um,
Yeah,
we'll catch
and look
up
forward to the
before.
game.
Yeah, we'll catch up before the next
It's
game, and
11:30. Hey, eleven
I
thirty,
know.
which means you don't have to get up a ridiculous o'clock. So
Yeah, once in a lifetime, sane hour
oh,
for the game.
I
Yeah.
know. I'll still feel like an old man and be asleep by 10 o'clock. But yeah, I'll try and push past and
It's like,
to watch this one. Yeah.
stay up, stay up.
One more coffee.
All right,
All right,
brother.
brother. Yeah, have a
Good
good night.
stuff.
We'll speak to you next time.
Yep. You too. See you next time.
Okay. Catch you. Bye bye.